Hello and welcome back to Devon Nature Garden. And yeah, we're going to be talking about solitary bees and mainly solitary bee houses and hotels. Most people will know them for going into a garden centre and seeing the little ones with bamboo canes. And I'll show you one of those in a second. And they will put them up in their garden and leave them there. Perfectly fine, you say. That's how I started. After that, I thought I can make my own. So I went onto YouTube and tried finding a solitary bee group on Facebook. Couldn't find anything specifically for the solitary bees. Because I was fascinated when that first bamboo cane one went up. I spent hours just watching them going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. So that's why I set up Solitary Bees in the UK Facebook group, which has got 3,000 odd members now, I think, maybe more. But since I've started that up, I've learned that there are some people that just do the same as I did, are quite happy with the bamboo canes, just leave them year after year after year. Others will buy the harvestable, the boxes you can harvest. Now, one of which is this one, which I bought from CJ Wildlife, birdfood.co.uk, I think it is. And they contain little cardboard tubes with inserts. Now, you can buy the inserts or the tubes. They've got a little rubber bung on one end, so they aren't reusable because you harvest the cocoons. So, there's wood left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video after this of me harvesting these. Now, why harvest? I didn't even think about harvesting any until a couple of years ago. I was watching them emerge in the spring, and one of them must have been the female from the back of the tube, because when these holes and these tubes have the female go in and laying, if they're deep enough, they lay the females at the back, and then males at the front. So the female that's at the back has to crawl through the whole tube. Now, mine had been up for 4 or 5 years. And one of the females that came out could hardly move and couldn't fly because she was a bee-shaped ball of mites. That got me thinking about it. So I went on and I looked around and found that that's when people were saying, well, if you harvest them, you don't get an infestation of mites. Because if you think about it, in the wild, there won't be all of these concentrated holes where the bees go. So you are, in fact, having a mass concentration of parasites, etc. I do get the thought behind, yeah, but that means you're killing the mites. Now, the way that I'm doing it, I'd like to think that they do eventually disperse naturally. I have this box, you're probably wondering why. This is a release box. So in the autumn, I am now, if I do homemade ones, these will be taken down, stored in the shed throughout the winter, and then beginning of March, I will take them down, put them in this release box, but facing with, I've got little tiny holes in underneath here. Say little tiny holes, they're 10mm holes, and I've got 4 of them. So when the bees, it gets warm enough and the bees hatch out of here, they see the light, they come out, but because these holes are facing north, they won't reuse them or go back in. They do hover around the outside because they can still sense the females within inside, but the females, when they come out, won't go back in and reseal these because it's in the dark. So that's one way of doing it. So what I will do is these will stay in here for 2 years. So once the spring and summer is out of the way, they will come back out into the shed. They are marked on the backs, so I know which ones are which. So I number them 1 and 2, so they can stay in and I can mark it all down. They will go back in because some types of bees will take up to 2 years to emerge. So after the second summer of them being in the boxes, I will then clean them out, wash them out, and then they can be reused. Or if you've got a lot of offcuts of wood here and there, after the 2 years, bin them and do some new ones if you like making them. That's a way to do it. The other thing is, let me show you now. If I put this one back up here, others that you can. This is the sort of thing you could get from a supermarket, or I mean, this is going to be binned straight away because it's not very deep. The recommendation is up to about 15 centimeters deep, if you can, 150 mil. This is no way deep enough. I think I had 3 of the holes in this blocked. So this is one of my original ones, and I'm not going to use it again. It's pointless. But you can obviously take the tubes out, and once you've taken the tubes out, you can, if you're gentle enough, split the canes open and harvest the cocoons that way. And then if it's long enough, you can get the longer tubes, longer canes, and you could make up a house or replace them. But again, I wouldn't recommend these little thin ones. So these boxes have been in here 2 years. This will show you how. I mean, there you go. These have been in here 2 years, and that is the one that I put up when I last did the channel, I think. And I cannot now, for the life of me, remember, because that was facing east, south, and west. And so I'm going to be putting that one up again because that's had its 2 years. So I will be cleaning it out, and that will be going back up to see if it makes a difference, whether they're facing east, south, or west. South definitely will have some in. West, I've had some in before. You need them really facing as south as possible in the sunlight. So, yeah, just if you're really getting into it and you want to learn a bit more, why not go over to Facebook and have a look at the Solitary Bees in the UK group. Yeah, I think I've waffled enough about that. That's just a bit about bees, isn't it? Any questions? Drop them in the comments and I'll do my best. As I say, I'm still learning myself. So, yeah, as it's October, I'm going to now try and harvest these beasties. Take care. See you again. Bye-bye.